Get started. I'd like to welcome everybody to our second series of 6 cook-alongs. I want to thank Carol, who needs no real introduction, for sharing with us. Carol and her family have been cooking together on Zoom this whole time. Once a week they cook. So we invited her to share one of the meals. Next week is Elizabeth Kalura. She is going to teach us how to make the pavlova that she won the Great Temple Sinai Bake Off with. The week after will be Saul, and I don't know what Saul is doing. And then wrapping it up with Drew and Jan, who are going to teach us how to make our own box.
Oh, okay.
So that's cool. So anyway, without any further ado.
Our own what?
Sorry.
Lox.
Your own smoked salmon.
Gravlax.
All right. Well,
okay, so Carol, I will stop talking. If everyone could mute themselves, that works much better. Either type your question in, or you can unmute yourself and ask a question and then mute again. Otherwise, it just gets too confusing for the chef.
All right, and I'll try to keep an eye on the chat. So first thing I'm going to do is preheat the oven because we need it to be at 375. Okay. My able technical assistant over here is helping with the camera, so you can hopefully see what I'm doing. So first thing we'll do is get the sauce ready for the fish because it takes a little while to simmer. So we'll make the sauce, we'll put the rice together, and then we'll put the sauce on the fish and get it in the oven. So, so we'll put a little bit of oil in the pot. You can come over.
What size pot are you using, Carol?
I'm using a 3-quart heavy ceramic cast iron pot, a Le Creuset, because I like for cooking the onions, I like a really heavy solid pot that conducts heat really evenly. So, so that's what I'm using. I have my onions sliced already. Per the ingredients, cut the onion in half and then just slice them into half circles. So if you need, it doesn't really matter how thick or thin, they're all gonna cook down pretty well. So let's get those started. I should have warmed up the pan while we were talking.
I love your new kitchen.
Oh, thank you. So I'll go down the ingredient list for everybody who doesn't already have it, just so you'll know what we're gonna do. So a couple of cloves of garlic chopped. I have some fire roasted diced tomatoes. You can use any diced tomatoes you want. You can use fresh tomatoes, but I happen to like those an awful lot, so I use them. We have paprika, cinnamon, which is a surprise ingredient, but it makes a huge difference in the sauce, and a little bit of sugar. If you don't want to use the sugar, you don't have to use the sugar. I used about 1.5 medium-sized onions to do that. So basically I took 2 onions and I used 1.5 for this recipe and 1/2 for the other one. So they'll have to cook about 8 minutes or so. Oh, man, overboard. Okay. Can you see? I should have started that while we were cooking.
So Carol, in your pot right now, you have the
Olive oil,
onions. Uh-huh.
the olive oil and the onions.
Okay.
And I like using this for cooking. It's sort of a flat wooden paddle. Instead of a spoon, stuff doesn't stick to it. And so these are starting to soften. It doesn't take very long. You're okay, let's just tilt it down a little bit so people can see.
That's better, Carl. Thanks.
Okay. Yeah, he can't see on his side what's on the screen.
I wonder who your engineer was today.
It's like the blind leading the blind here. So it's starting to smell really good in my kitchen. So those of you who are cooking, the onions are smelling really, really good. I think that's one of my favorite smells in the world is the smell of onions cooking because I guess it brings back memories from my childhood. Some people like bread baking. I'm an onion girl.
What did you eat in childhood that reminds you of onions?
Oh, I don't know. We used to have holiday dinners at my Aunt Mary's house, and we always used to walk in there and smell the onions cooking. And so it just brings back wonderful childhood memories. They're starting to turn color. And so because of the pot I'm using, it'll go a little faster too. So those of you who are cooking, are you with me?
I think they're too busy cooking.
Okay. It's okay.
I see a few thumbs up there, so that's a good thing.
All right. So these are looking really pretty good. They're not quite done, but I'm gonna move ahead just because I don't want you to sit here and have nothing to look at. So I'm gonna pop the garlic in, and just for maybe 30 seconds because you don't want the garlic to burn. But once you can start to smell it, then it's time to pour in your liquid. So I'm going to pour in my tomatoes. That smells like heaven. Okay. I said if you don't want to use the sugar,
Tomatoes instead of canned, if you were watching
you
Salt.
can use fresh tomatoes. You can, if in the summertime I might use fresh tomatoes. They're not quite so good now, so I use these Muir fire roasted are my favorite canned tomatoes because they just have more flavor. But you could use any canned tomato. If you can't get diced tomatoes, you can, it's messy, but you can use whole tomatoes and cut them up yourself. It's very flexible. Anything works.
I use fresh tomatoes.
I'm sorry?
I use fresh tomatoes. Fine.
Fresh tomatoes would be great. I used, last time I used Roma tomatoes because that was what I could get. It was delicious. If you don't want to use the sugar, you don't have to. Sometimes I use Splenda, but it's such a little amount of sugar that, that today I put it in. All right. So next is tomato paste mixed into a 1/4 cup of water. I don't know why the recipe calls for that, honestly. You could just, I think it just easier to mix into the recipe. So, so I do it. For tomato paste, I like the squeeze tubes because then, you know, when you need just a small amount of tomato paste and you open a can and then what do you do with it? You put it in a container, it goes bad, you throw it out. These last forever. So this is Whole Foods brand. I usually use an Italian brand, Cento, but whatever you can get. How my cooker's doing? Doing okay? Okay. Huh? Yeah. All right. Wine is optional, not in my house, but wine is optional. So I'm using a Sauvignon Blanc because it's what I like to drink. And so I usually just use whatever I'm going to drink and whatever I'm cooking.
Isn't that the rule that you have to be able to drink the wine in order to cook with it?
Yeah, cooking wine is nasty.
Yeah.
It's all salt. And it's, yeah, it's just nasty stuff. So, all right. Let me just make sure I didn't leave something out. Half the parsley, so about a 1/4 cup. But again, if you're like me, I'm just going to grab a handful and throw it in.
So Carol, did we put the paprika and the cinnamon in it?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
All right. So I have everything in here at this point. And on my splatter. All right, I'm going to move this to the back burner. And just let it simmer while we prepare the rice. All right, I don't want to start if everybody's not with me yet, so I'll wait. We're good? Okay, okay. I'll just bring everything over here. Show you my ingredients. Okay. I haven't made this as much, so I'm cheating. I'm using the. All right. For my rice, I'm using I like to use a pot with a glass lid so I can watch the levels to see if there's still liquid in the pan. So I'm going to put a little bit of oil in the pan and saute the onions. And these onions are chopped as opposed to the last recipe that were the half circles. Cover everything. Okay. So I'm going to saute the onions for the rice. I'm making a mess because I'm rushing.
Does Rick do all the cleanup if you're cooking?
It does help. He's smiling at
That's a
me.
nice way of saying no.
Well, so far, he's doing a wonderful job with the camera.
There you go.
Kudos, Rick.
Thank you. I was just hoping you could see what she was doing.
You're doing a good job, Rick.
Yep.
In my house, my husband does all the cooking and I have all the cleanup. It's a pretty good deal. He's pretty messy, but the food's worth it.
Ellen, we should have you playing piano or something during our dead times.
Yes.
I'm good, thanks.
So, Ellen, your husband cooks? Does more of the cooking?
He does all of the cooking, actually.
Wow.
I don't even pretend.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, just cereal. That's about it. Toast. I can burn toast.
My husband makes good eggs.
Yeah?
He's a good egg maker.
That's a good indication. That's hard to do.
But I think it's the only thing you cook. Toast.
Well,
Yes,
Grill
he
steak.
grills. Yeah.
steaks, chops.
Oh, steaks are good. Grilling is good, yeah.
Yeah, the only problem is I don't eat a lot of what you grill.
Great. Vegetarian grilling.
All right, so these are really starting to go. I had to go to a spoon because my paddle has all the other spices on it. I suppose I could have used it. I have this up a little high because I'm trying to rush it. So all right.
Whenever I rush, I burn.
Oh, well, I'm stirring, so I'm not, but I'm making a mess. It keeps flying out of the pot. All right. So 2 tablespoons. Tablespoon of garlic. And I have to tell you, I cheated. And I bought my garlic already minced. Jeez. All right. Lemon zest is going in. They have their quantities, but it's the zest of 1 lemon. I have to confess, I don't have any spinach.
you did, what would you do with it? Just
I
right
just
now?
love to put it in and cook it till it wilts. I'm afraid that that would burn the garlic, honestly. So I really, yeah, I wouldn't recommend it.
So you skip it all together?
Yeah, you can put it in later. I just put my rice in to toast it a little bit. And then I'm going to add my liquid. All right, so mine is already boiling because my pan's really hot. So I'm going to reduce the heat to a simmer and put a lid on it. And we'll let that go for about 15 minutes. We'll set my timer. All right. How we doing, cookers?
Catching up with you.
Okay.
But you can go ahead, Carol.
Well, I'll turn mine off and I'll wait for you. I'll let it just sit a minute.
Carol, what was the liquid that you just put into the rice?
It was veggie stock. You could use chicken stock. You could use any kind of stock you want,
Okay.
depending on what you're making. I cook with stock a lot. It's a good way to flavor rice or farro or barley. I always sub out, or often sub out like a veggie stock instead of the water. But this was also lemon, the rind of one lemon. And that's one of those calls from somewhere. Enon Valley, PA is calling. So
Not me, Carol, I promise.
thank you.
Another mountain range over.
So you put the juice of the lemon in or just the rind?
No, that goes in last after
Last.
it's done.
Okay.
Okay. Otherwise, it would cook down too much and be really tart. But I did put the zest in.
The sauce smells really good with the cinnamon.
It's, you know, it's a very small amount of cinnamon, but what it does to the flavor of the sauce is really pretty extraordinary. So, you know, we have these family cooking every Sunday night. My family picks a recipe or two, and my kids in Maryland, my sister in Florida, and my cousins here in Pittsburgh. And so we cook together, and then we all take pictures and send each other our dishes, which look amazingly nothing alike. And then we sit down and we eat together. So it's a lot of fun, and it's a way, you know, to be with our kids. And sometimes our other son will join us for a few minutes, and because he has little kids and it's too long for them. But it's a lot of fun and a nice way to be together with the family, especially when we can't visit each other now.
Yeah, the cinnamon smells really good.
It's amazing. And
Really good that some of you don't have these smells.
you know, you'll just have to make it on your own.
Yeah.
It does smell good.
It tastes really good too. So this was one of the recipes that my family made a couple months ago. So when Maura and I talked about doing this, and she said, you know, makes one of the dishes that you and your family prepare, this is the first one that came to mind because everybody loved this dish. We don't all, you know, some like one dish or another, but everybody liked this dish. So I thought this is perfect. Okay, are we together? Okay, I don't see Laura and George.
Oh, they gave the A-OK.
Okay. All right. So I have my fish out here on a baking sheet. And I line mine with foil just because I'm lazy and it's easier to clean up. So, I just, and where it's really skinny because it's a whole side of cod, I've folded it underneath so that it's all the same thickness all the way around. Can you see? So I'm just gonna salt and pepper the fish. I cheated, I salt and peppered the other side before I put it on here, as I didn't want to get fish all over my hands. So the really nice thing about this recipe is that you're going to use at most half the sauce. So then you're going to be able to put it in the freezer and save it for another day. And you can use it with chicken, or you could put it on vegetables. You could really use it on just about anything. It's pretty versatile. So I'm going to put some of the sauce on top of my fish. Be real careful when you do that you don't get your spoon, you don't touch the fish with your spoon, because if you do, then you cannot put it back into the sauce unless you cook the sauce more, because you'll get the raw fish in your sauce. So be careful not to contaminate your sauce.
How much of the sauce should we put on?
Well, I like to use a lot. I'll show you what mine looks like. All right. So can you see how thick it's? It's about half an inch thick, maybe a little bit more. Can you see?
Mm-hmm.
All right. No, it's cooked. All right, I'm just going to throw this in, put this in the oven, which we've already preheated to 375. And if we did this really well, everything's going to come out at close to the same time. The rice will come out first. And I'll put that on the bottom of the platter. And then I'll put the fish on top so that...
How long do you bake the chicken?
It depends on how thick it is. You know, if you have individual like chicken breasts, you know, I wouldn't cook them more than like, I don't know, 15 to 20 minutes, depends on how thick they are. For fish, rule of thumb is, I'd say 10 to 15 minutes per inch, depending on how dense the fish is. But I just put hot sauce on top of it into a hot oven. So my fish is a good inch thick, maybe a little thicker. It'll take a good 15 minutes to cook. So the rice should be done. It's cooking. Yeah, I'd say the rice will be done in less than 10 minutes. So I can show you what else I did to go along with this. I didn't send it out, but continuing with our Greek theme, I made a shepherd salad. So it's cucumbers, tomatoes, green peppers, red onions, Kalamata olives, and feta cheese. It's a sheep's milk feta that's that I like. And I don't do a lot of cow's milk cheese because my stomach is, there's a cheese thief in the house. I won't tell you who. So this is a sheep's milk. They make goat's milk, sheep's milk. You can get this either Giant Eagle or Whole Foods. They both have it. And we like it a lot. So I just threw together a dressing of olive oil, red wine vinegar, a little oregano, and some lemon juice, salt and pepper. That's it. And we ate this all over Greece. This is my favorite thing. So in keeping with our Greek theme, I made a Greek salad. So.
Oh, I forgot to add the wine, so I'm just going to throw a splash in there.
You can throw it in, it's fine.
Yeah.
Or drink, it just won't have as much time to cook down, but it's fine.
Either that or just drink it.
Well, that was my next thing I was gonna say. You know, you
No, I
can
thought
always
that's
have
what
a
she was
drink.
gonna say was, I forgot to put it in, so I'll just put it in.
Well, I'm doing both, so.
This is the wine I used. It's a Sauvignon Blanc from New Zealand because it's what I like to drink. And so I like the flavor. I still have some in the bottle. My husband is opening the bottle.
Hard to believe I did that because I put wine in everything. In all my food.
I cook with wine a lot. I don't know why. My husband doesn't even drink, but I cook with wine an awful lot. And I have a lot of beer downstairs in my refrigerator. I don't even like beer, but we had guests in and friends in from out of town who were here. Her mother is not well, and so she came into town for a few weeks.
Cheers.
And we had dinner out on my back patio, and so I bought him beer. Well, he didn't drink it, so neither one of us drinks beer. So I have Sam Adams and some local stuff in a can. I don't know.
Looks
So
like you
I'm
can
gonna-
give it to Ellen.
So we won't tell anybody. I'll steam some shrimp in it, or you know. But boozy cooking is good. I like it. So I like
Oktoberfest, Sam Adams.
I like the flavor in cooking with alcohol. It doesn't really completely cook out, by the way, the alcohol, but some of it does, but it doesn't 100% go away.
We
I
can
did not know
pretend
that.
it does.
I rushed so much because I thought we were going to run out of time. Oh, well. My platter here.
Chris, He looks so much older, Michelle. Chris.
Is that your kitty? Oh, I thought you.
He wants to say hi to TT. Say hi.
Hi.
It's my nephew. Hi, Chris.
Say
I
hi.
thought you were talking about your cat. Yeah.
You said hi, Chris, and he said hi, Chris.
I haven't seen him in a really, really long time.
Yeah, we'll have to fix
Who's
that.
seen
Hopefully this thing will be
anybody
over
in a
soon.
really long time.
Yeah. Stinks.
The rice still has, that's 45 seconds. And I'm gonna say 5 minutes. So I had turned off my rice for everybody to catch up. So it's gonna take me another 5 minutes on the rice. And then we'll start putting anything together. Does anybody have any questions while we're sitting here waiting? This is the worst part, is the sitting here waiting. Except for y'all who have stuff to eat already. Where did I get the fish recipes from New York Times Cooking? I make a ton of their recipes. There are so many really wonderful ones. We did a really interesting one last weekend. It was a turkey sausage with, and I don't eat sausage, but I don't eat turkey, but everybody loved it. It was a turkey sausage made with grapes and onions, and it sounds really strange, but everybody who ate it really, really liked it.
It's very tasty.
Yeah. The rice recipe, I don't know, it was in my files and I have no idea where that one came from. I have a giant electronic file full of recipes. And so every now and then I'll just go peruse. I have a ton of cookbooks and it's my favorite reading. So I have over here, these are all from different regions. So, Persian, Portuguese, Israeli, Syrian. This is, it's a really interesting story of the Portuguese Jews. We were in Portugal last year and learned a lot of the history of the Portuguese Jews. So that's sort of my thing this year. I'm very into Portugal and Portuguese Jewish cooking. So,
Do you still have all your notebooks too, Carol?
I do have all my notebooks, just, pages and pages of recipes I've compiled over the years. And then I have a whole cabinet here full of cookbooks and a whole bookcase downstairs full of cookbooks because it's a terrible addiction.
It's a horrible addiction. And Richard has started saying, for every one I buy now, I have to get rid of one that I don't cook at.
Oh, that's really hard because I have really old ones that I love. I like reading them, but some of them have wonderful stories and histories in them. And so they're just wonderful reading on their own, even without, what do you got there?
I've been doing this kind of cooking. There's a place up here where you can get quince.
Oh.
I just made membrillo. It's very yummy.
Huh. You'll have to share that with me.
There's only one place around I could find where you can buy quince at the farm.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I mean, you could buy quince paste, but I don't know where you could buy quince.
This is a farm near us.
You'll have to bring some back and then you can show us how to make it.
Yes.
Know what it looks
I don't know. They could cook from Chautauqua.
Takes hours, by the way, so you'd have to have a whole evening.
We
Maybe the next day too.
put the quince in the slow cooker and cooked
Overnight.
it overnight.
Oh, well, there you go. Well, I just got my Instant Pot. Maybe we could cook.
You can do it in
quince
that.
in the Instant
Probably
Pot.
be good in
And
that.
then you cook it down on the stove for 2 hours.
What are some of the other themes you've used?
Oh gosh. Well,
How recently?
we've traveled the world on Sunday nights. So we've done Italian, Greek, Spanish. My daughter-in-law is Vietnamese, so we tend to do a lot of Asian recipes. She likes cooking with, we make rice every week. She's a big rice person, but we've done Japanese, Vietnamese, Chinese. I've never particularly liked miso, but I've learned to cook with miso and actually have started to like it. All kinds of exotic
Cheryl,
ingredients. We have
can you educate me with what miso is? I don't know what that is.
miso. It's a fermented soybean paste. And there's different kinds of miso. So it's actually, I guess I've acquired a taste for it. We cooked Tunisian. We made a Tunisian shakshuka a couple weeks ago, and I've discovered this spice blend called Ras El Hanout. Oh my gosh, it's my new favorite thing. So
all of these things you're saying are very new to me. I have to check it out.
It was new to me too, but I tasted this. When I opened the jar, there can be different blends, but this one is turmeric, black pepper, corn, ginger, allspice, galangal, and I'm not sure, it's a root. I don't know exactly what it is. Cinnamon, nutmeg, cardamom, clove, coriander, cumin, and rose petals.
I made my own.
And
Really?
you open the jar and just smell, and it just transports you. It's just wonderful. So I love cooking with exotic.
Tanya, this is what I gave you, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Can you spell it?
It's RAS. Second word is EL. And the third word, HANOUT. It's a North African seasoning. The one I got is from the Silk Road.
Where do you get that?
I got it on Amazon. Where else?
Wow.
I get most of my spices from Penzies. I have to say I love Penzies, but I didn't have time to get there. So,
If they have it, you have to make your own with Penzies.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, I don't think they have it unless it's new.
I don't know. I didn't try, but
Carol?
I did order this from Amazon, and it's amazing.
What
It's,
did you use
The
it
first
for?
thing. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, what did you use it for?
we made a shakshuka. Shakshuka is a tomato base, and you is with different seasonings, and then you put little wells in the sauce, and you crack an egg into the wells. And some people put it in the oven. I just put a lid on it for a few minutes, cook it, and then you like. I like to crack the yolks into the tomatoes, and it's yummy. So we've made an Israeli shakshuka many times, but this was Tunisian. I know.
Carol,
And-
what was the first ingredient in that?
And this was turmeric.
That's good for inflammation. That's why I'm asking. I'm supposed to take as much of that in as I can. That's pretty interesting. I'm on it. Amazon, here I
I highly
come.
recommend it. It's certainly, I mean, I've cooked a lot over the years, but we're doing things that are really opening my eyes. So, all right, my rice is done. So I'm going to add in the lemon juice. And we'll let the lemon juice evaporate. So while we're doing show and tell, this is the rice that I used. It's a really good brand of rice.
Did you get that on Amazon too?
No, I got that at the Giant Eagle. All right. So just separating this out. Tasty.
Take the fish out.
I just tasted the rice and it is delicious.
It is
Very good.
delicious. I just tasted it too. All right, I'm gonna put the rice on my platter.
Hey, Carol, there's a question in the chat. Sorry. Where is the farm for Quince?
Oh, that's Chautauqua. That's George and Laura are in Chautauqua.
The farm is called Seaford's
You gotta be kidding.
Fruit, and it is in Northeast PA.
Oh, near.
All over to go there. However, they don't let you pick your own quince. They had a problem a few years ago. Apparently, many Eastern European people love quince, and there's a fairly large population near Northeast PA. And two elderly women got into a fist fight and damaged one of the quince trees. So they stopped all picking. You have to order it in advance.
Well, that's a shame.
Someone called them from Philadelphia recently and asked for quince. And they actually had to tell them that they had more orders than they had quince. So they couldn't do that. But if people want quince for next year, let us know. They have every
I've never
fruit
tasted it.
I hadn't either. It's actually quite good. This membrilla is delicious.
I've seen quince paste.
Well, this
in the
is
store.
similar to a quince paste, and serving it on a cracker with a
I understand, but did it have,
maybe
like-
some
I mean, this
manchego. George, can you go this way? Manchego
This crease
cheese
isn't
is
gonna go.
delicious.
Oh, okay.
Really good.
Try.
Anyway, this Seaford Quality Fruit Farm is normally a you pick, and they have everything under the sun. They have peaches. They have an enormous variety of apples. They have
Show the seed.
cherries. You name it. This is actually the quince paste.
Oh, yeah.
This is the membrillo. It's very good.
Oh,
Anyway,
all right. My fish is ready. It's falling apart a little bit. Okay. Here's the finished dish. Can you see? So it's the fish with the sauce over the rice.
Looks
And I
yummy. I'll
Clap
be
it all
recording a
together.
taste test for you.
Here, Rick can taste test for me because I'm already biased. I picked it.
It's
So,
really good.
Can we see yours, Tanya?
So I just made myself a plate, but yeah. Let's see if you can. Can you see that?
Oh, yeah, looks good. Michelle, you want to show yours
Did you
off
all
too?
use pie?
Carol's is very tasty. Very, very good.
I paid him to say that.
Here,
Yeah.
Joe, can you see this? Maybe not.
Can't see it.
Now,
Just hold it up a little bit. Oh, there we go.
oh,
Wow.
beautiful. There you are. Well, I'm sorry I didn't send you the salad, but if anybody wants the dressing, I'll send it off to Mara and you can have that too.
Thank you, Carol.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm excited. Now I have to taste
I
it.
really enjoyed this
That's,
session.
oh, Laura, that looks beautiful. You're muted.
They can't
Take
hear you.
credit because I didn't cook.
Delicious.
Well, it
I will
looks
give you
great.
credit.
I'll take credit.
All right. Well, thank you all for hanging in there with me. I've never done anything on Zoom before like this to present. So I've always been just one of the cooks.
Thank you. Everything
You're
was
Carol,
good.
very
your
good.
kitchen is
Let's give her a
beautiful.
round of applause.
Thank you.
Thank you, Carol.
It did great,
Thank you.
Carol.
Carol.
Here, wait, I
Thank you.
forgot I'll sprinkle with parsley. There we go.
And
Now,
we
Now
recorded
it's
this
done.
session and we'll get it up on the Temple Sinai YouTube channel to watch again if you want it. And we'll make sure we send out all, whatever you need to know tomorrow, I guess, recipes and anything else.
Thank you, Judy.
And make
I'll
sure you go and
Thank you.
sign up for the other course, the other
Yeah.
class.
Oh, yeah. Sign up for the next ones.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Thank you.
Fun not to cook by yourself.
Is that Tanya?